dork.
I was gonna. Oh, hi. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm always jealous of you guys because you guys live out in. Well, I guess you guys live out in LA, or at least.
I live in LA. He lives out in Texas.
Texas, yeah, but I mean, you're closer to E3, so you can like actually go and like do all the cool stuff. But I was gonna ask. Actually, when Josh said that he voices Luger, I thought of a question. So is it okay if I ask?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and I had another question for Matt Mercer.
Okay, we'll try and keep it quick so we get to the line. So yeah.
Yeah. So talking to Paul Herrera, he was saying that like when he first auditioned for Fire Emblem when he was doing Valadar, they said they wanted him to do like a Hispanic accent, and he was like, Puss in Boots. But do you guys ever get anything like that, where like you're auditioning for a character and like they ask you to do something totally weird, and how you settle on?
Yeah.
It happens. I can't really think of any examples at the moment.
See, I'm the opposite. I've auditions where they ask for something very specifically strange, and I'll do it, and then I won't book it, and then I hear the final voice, and it is not all what they asked for, and I'm like, man, it would be good to know you didn't want that.
Yeah.
And like, we want this, like I've had a lot of auditions where like, we want, very, very thick, kind of Hispanic, but of course, I'm more than happy to help you, And I audition for that, and then it comes out, and it's like, well, in Russian. I'm like, that's not even what you asked for! Fair? That happens.
Yeah. People don't know what they want, man. Directors don't know what they want.
Yeah, and a lot of times actors will take your choices that aren't asked for, like in a lot of cartoons especially, they'll do a voice or an accent or a type of thing that's completely out of the realm of what they were asking for, but because it's so different, sometimes they'll cast that because it's funnier. Like, I don't know how many of you guys remember the old Tick cartoon? It's a great cartoon. There's a character in there who's a sewer urchin. He basically sounds like Rain Man. Yeah, definitely has to go down. It's definitely going in the sewer. Definitely smells bad. Definitely down the sewer. And they didn't ask for that at all. They wanted like an intense type character who was not like a creepy dude who lived in the sewer. And some guy just did Rain Man for his audition, and that was so funny they cast him for it. So like that does happen sometimes. Sometimes going away from the well-tread path is what gets their attention.
Yeah. Just throwing out something.
Yeah. Your next question.
Okay. Oh, yeah. And I guess for Luger, so when you I guess got the part and found out like, oh, you're not actually talking that much.
Yeah. At first, he had enough. It was still a big enough booking that it kept me out in LA for 2 weeks solid. But a lot of that was fighting sounds and doing all the different attack moves and everything else. But there is he did have all the stuff that you can select and everything else. He does say. You just have to like unlock that. But. Yeah, at first I was just like, wait, he doesn't talk? Okay. Like, do people just like to choose stuff? Yeah, they just, so it's like a menu thing? No, it's just like a 50-50 chance thing. Oh. Well, that's cool. Does it like change the story? Kind of.
Oh.
They went through a whole bunch of different stuff, but again, my favorite thing with Luger was getting to just do the duality of the character and giving all the funny skits and everything. And the animation for the animated cutscenes and stuff, like bing bing.
Oh my god.
Hilarious. It's just so beautiful too. Like all the animation, all the Tails. See, I think the first Tails thing I ever saw was Vesperia, and the animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the hot springs, wasn't expected.
Yeah. It's like, really?
And then it just progresses, and you're like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
Of course it would be T-Bo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Luigi, you still feeling some road rage?
It's like they knew.
First off, do you get the script like when you audition or after you get the part?
We don't even get the script when we get the part.
Yeah, no. The first time we see the full script is the day we come in to record, and we get to maybe look over it. Like, we get to see the line about 10 seconds before we actually say it. So it's all cold reading.
Yeah, the only projects I've ever had the script in advance would be like motion capture, in which you have to memorize the scenes, which is closer to film. And then we'll get it like 3 days in advance. So, like 3 days to remember all these scenes. Go. Cancel all my plans.
And the second one is aside from the confession scene, what has to be the weirdest thing you have ever done?
In voiceover or in general?
Okay. God. In voiceover. Okay, so I was about to say. The craziest thing I've ever done in the booth actually ended up halting the session. And it was, I was working in Houston at ADV Films on a show, and I had just driven 6 hours to it, and I'd gotten up at 4 in the morning to get down there so I could make my 10 a.m. call time. And I picked up a Route 44 iced tea from Sonic just before I got in because I love the ice and I need the caffeine. And I get really animated in the booth because the character I'm playing for them is super crazy, kooky, whatever. And I'm just getting all over the place, and I knock the tea over. It falls off its table on the floor, but it hit the floor so perfectly. I will never be able to do this again if I try. It hit so perfectly that it landed directly on the top on the straw, and instead of bending the straw, it pushed the straw up through the bottom of the cup. So when I pick it back up, I don't realize this. I pick it up, and then there's tea coming out the front, so I turn it over, and there's tea coming out the bottom. I'm sitting there like, oh crap! And I start like juggling in the booth. I get the mic wet, I get the floor wet, I get myself wet, and it just completely halts the session for like 10, 20 minutes because we have to clean everything up and replace the microphone. And I was like going crazy, and the and we like almost blew out the speakers in the booth because of how loud I was. It's ridiculous.
I don't have anything quite as dynamic as that. The weirdest thing I've actually performed, the one that was the strangest, oh man, that would be on Helsing. I blame Taliesin Jaffe for this. Taliesin Jaffe and Patrick Seitz. There's a scene in the last edition of Helsing that just went out, where like it's a history of Ceres, and she's like watching her family get murdered, and these two like kind of thugs then decide to kind of have their way with her mom's corpse. Taliesin calls me in to do some ADR, and he's like, by the way, guess who you're playing today?
Oh my god.
That was the most awkward session I've ever had to do. And then Taliesin would mess with me and be like, because you have to do all the sounds. And then like he stopped me like, all right, let's do it again. But I wasn't hearing enough British in that. A little more of a Cockney edge to it. I'm like, it's not even words, man. It's just grunting. What's wrong with you? Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
That's awesome.
And then Patrick was laughing at me. Like I texted him, like he did the writing for that episode. It's like, you bastard. He's like, ha ha ha. Then Taliesin called Patrick in to be the other guy. We got to suffer together.
That's wonderful.
Respect both your work.
Oh, thank you very much.
Respect yours, Luigi.
Keep mad dogging him. I'm trying to prove. Like I've had a long time theory that Nintendo is building Luigi up to be the next big villain. Because he just gets more and more weird and like out there and brain damage with every game. Like the Super Smash Trophy and Smash Brothers Brawl for Luigi talks about how he's been living in the shadow of his brother for so long, he's harnessed the dark energy of like the shadow world. And you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. So if that happens, and not like now with this whole mad dog and angry I want to kill you face, and you know, Mario Kart, like, Luigi's gonna be a villain, and you all heard it here first. Good question.
Do you guys remember your first gigs?
First gig.
First gig voice work wise or just anything, any acting wise?
Voice work.
My very first gig was for part 3 of a little show called Wedding Peach that was done in Austin, Texas. Yeah, a very long time ago. It was kind of in the vein of Sailor Moon, but instead of like a full Senshi or like 5-person or more thing, it was just 3 characters. It was super, very fun.
My first project was doing background walla for the Fist of the North Star television, the anime series, which was 3 hours of heads exploding.
Yep.
So that was a nice introduction of like, you know, oh wow, give me voiceover. All right, cool. What do you need? Okay. Beep beep beep. For 3 hours. So that was a nice introduction. There you go, dude.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question.
Are you going back to MagFest this year? Or this coming year?
I would love to go back to MagFest. I believe there is talk about it, about having me out as a guest again. I would love that because MagFest is awesome. For those who aren't familiar with MagFest, it's a video game music festival. They don't really call it a convention, but it's a festival. And it's amazing. They have great panels, great guests. They have a lot of concerts of people who do covers of video games like the Megas and the Mini Bosses, and a lot of great bands that do awesome covers of video game music from our childhood and modern day. And they have a 24-hour arcade that is gargantuan, and it's yeah.
And the other question is, after doing work like the second half of Kanji and the Persona 4 anime and Walter for SMT4, has Atlas talked about keeping you going or involved in anything else that you can talk about?
That I can talk about, no.
That means
I will
yes.
say nothing. I'm just saying, I'm really excited that they're announcing a bunch more Persona 4 stuff. That's cool.
Wink. Wink, wink.